Okay. Dear participant, good evening all of you and welcome back to last session of our ongoing faculty workshop on next generation of artificial intelligence and machine learning. All the sessions has been successfully over and today is the last session of this program. Today, the resource person will be Dr. Upinder Kaur. So before inviting her, I would like to have a brief introduction about our resource person. She is associate professor and serve as the head of the department, computer science and engineering at Akal University, Bathinda. She has distinguished career in the academic and research spanning over 20 years, marked by extensive knowledge and a profound understanding of computer science and engineering. She has enriched the academic realm with her contribution of over 40 plus research articles presented at international conference and published in reputable journals, which are also indexed in renowned data sets such as Scopus SA. In addition to her prolific array of articles, she has edited 4 significant books published under the reputed banner of IGI Global and Wiley. Her research interests are diverse and focused on artificial intelligence and machine learning, exploring the practical application of deep learning and delving into the intricacies of cloud computing. Through her innovative, respective, and pioneering research, she continuously advanced knowledge with this dynamic and evolving field. So, during this session, she will demonstrate some practical by using like a prediction model using the machine learning and which are associated with the medical science, environment problem, or the industrial problem, but it depends upon the time how many models she can present during this session. Okay, so now I would like to invite Dr. Upinder ma'am. Dr. Upinder ma'am, welcome to this session, and now over to you. And also, I request to all the participants, whenever you have any kind of question during the session, you can unmute your mic and you can put your question directly to the speaker so that all the doubt can be covered during the session. And all the participants are permitted to unmute your mic. Dr. Upinder ma'am, over to you.
Very good evening, sir.
Good evening, ma'am.
Welcome to today's session. Myself, Dr. Upinder. And first of all, I'm really thankful to the Dr. Mehershan for calling me and giving me this opportunity to be a part of this workshop. And I'm really excited to take you through the insightful journey into how cutting-edge technologies like deep learning, machine learning used to address the real-world challenges. During my session, I will try to explore some of the projects from beginner level to some advanced level. And whatever the time I have, I will try to as much as I can explore with you. So before starting with this, so as I have explored all the sessions of these workshops, and I come to know that there is a lot of exposure already have been discussed with all of you regarding the machine learning and deep learning scenario and up to the quantum machine learning and so and so. So I'm not going to the detailed part of these. So I'm not exploring what is machine learning, how deep learning is helpful. So we are just going with the implementation part of this. So first of all, I'm going to share my practical implementation notebooks. So please give me a time so that I can explore. Okay. So please confirm my screen is visible to all of
Yes,
you.
ma'am, screen is visible. If possible, can you please increase the font size Uh,
Oh, okay.
we have the
I
left
have.
and right. There is a lot of
Is
margin.
it okay now?
Uh, yes, it is okay now. Seems to be
Okay.
okay. And we can confirm from the participant. Dear participant, please let us know the text are visible to all of you.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay, maybe
Okay.
I
So,
think everything is fine.
okay, sir. So the first problem I'm sharing here, that is the heart disease project, and it is basically a very simple project in which we can explore the data. And before starting with the projects, I'm really want to explain you all that the prediction and the accuracy of any model, like in the machine learning or deep learning, is totally depend upon the data set. So whatever the result I'm having here might be changed if you choose the different data sets. So don't worry about that, because whenever we are using it, so whatever the data set and how accurate your data set and whatever the large quantity of your data set, it provides you the benefit in that. So as we know that there is a pipeline in the machine learning, that first of all we have a data set, and then we need to pre-process our data set, and after the pre-processing of the data set, then we need to apply the machine learning model, and then we go with the training and testing part of the, and finally we'll get the outcome. So similarly, we are following these steps in our project. So first of all, we are starting with the heart disease project here. So whatever the insights of my data sets, so see, there are number of 302 attributes. So these are the columns that is available in my data set, and that is related to the diagnosis of the heart disease. So these are some of the factors. So let's see what are these factors. One is the age. One factor is the age. Another factor is the chest pain. So see, chest pain, I have written it as CP. And in chest pain, we are having a multiple values there, like value 1, typical angina, atypical angina, non-anginal pain, asymptomatic. So similarly, these are the number of factors that is available in my data set. On the basis of that, I'm using the machine learning model to predict whether the person is having that heart disease or going to have, or there is a prediction related to this. So similarly, the resting blood pressure, and it is treated in the T rest BPS. T rest BPS is the resting blood pressure, and it is related to the measurement of the BP of the person. Similarly, CHOL. CHOL is the serum cholesterol. Similarly, fast blood sugar FBS, and rest ECG, that is the resting electrocardiograph results. Similarly, there are number of factors. I'm explaining this because this is the available in my CSV file. On the basis of that, we are going to predict the person is having the heart disease or not. Okay, so this is the brief about the problem that we are going to discuss under this project. So as we are using the Jupyter notebook here, so I'm using the tool that is the Python editor, and I'm using the Anaconda, and under the Anaconda, I'm using the Jupyter notebook because it is a very comfortable, and when we are using the web-based, and it will easy to execute. You can use the Google Colab as well. I will provide you the data set as well as the code notebooks, so that whenever you understand it, you can run it, so you can learn it from this. So first of all, we will install some of the libraries that are required. As we already have this library, so I'm not going to install it. Otherwise, I will provide you the command. I will provide you the command. So you need to just give me a minute. I will provide you the command here. You need to write pip install library name. This is the command. So you need to type pip, and if you are in the Jupyter notebook and you write to command, you need to give the explanation sign here. So explanation sign, then you need to type pip, then you need to type install, then you have to type the library name. If it is a NumPy, type NumPy. If it is a pandas, type pandas. If it is a TensorFlow, write TensorFlow. Similarly, like that, whatever the library you want to install in your project, or that is the prerequisite, your requirement in your project, you just need to install it. The second step after the installation is the import the library that you just have installed. So for that, you need to write import, for example, the library name, then as the aliasing, like see. So what I write here, import pandas as PD. What it means? Import means I am importing the library in my project. Which library I am importing? That is the pandas. And as is aliasing, so that I need not to write every time the P and D as complete. So I will write the PD. So this is the way you can install and you can call the libraries in your project, right? So now explore. So first of all, I am importing the library that I need. After that, because I am using the data from my drive, so whenever you are having the data that is available into the drive, you need to call this command. So what is this command? From google.colab import drive.mount. So in this command, whatever the data you have that is available in the online in your drive, you can link it with your any of the project. So the same command every time you need. So every time you need this command, so if you don't want to link it with your drive, similarly, you can upload the data set in the project also. So that time you just need to give the path. Okay. So after this, you need to download the content from your Google Colab. So let's explain what are the parameters we are having in our data set. So these are the parameters I have just discussed about. So these are the parameters like age, sex, CP, P-REST, BPS, COL, FBS, REST, CEG, thalamic, accent, old peak, slope, CA, HA1. So these are the factors that are responsible for the heart disease. So what we are exploring here, we are providing the factors that is available in our CSP file under which we are going to predict the person is having the heart disease or not. And we will make the prediction accordingly. It means we are visualizing these factors. These are the blood samples reports. Accordingly, we will get some values corresponding to this. For example, what is the BP, what is the cholesterol level, what is the resting stages, what is the slope, what is this. So in the starting, we have written everything. THALC is the maximum heart rate achieved. So similarly, these are the factors. On the basis of that, these are the numerical figures, and we can visualize that we have this disease or not. So similarly, I have a data set, and data set is in the form of Excel. So that's why I'm reading it pd.read underscore Excel. This is the method. I'm using the pandas library here that I just have imported here. So under the pandas library, first of all, I will provide you the header that is in the my Excel sheet. And after that, I'm going to upload my Excel sheet in the project. See, so the command is pd.read underscore Excel. And after that, you need to provide the file name. And under the file name, if there is any header, then you need to explain it. And that file is stored in the variable data. Okay. So now the Excel sheet is read by the library pandas, and all the data is available in the data frame and stored in the data. Okay. So now data.head. Data.head means this is the data that we have just uh, stored the data in this variable. So head is the command in which we can explore the data set, and this data set we can explore accordingly. So data.head, this command, see here we have passing the 20. It means it will provide you 0 to 20 rows from the data that we have. So see age, sex, CP, terabase, call, old peak, slope, CA, HAL, heart disease. So these are the data set values that we have. And the 20 means, so this is the command, the data frame name, dot head, and number of rows that you want to explore. So this print command will provide you this information. Similarly, if you want to check the number of rows and columns, so there is a command data.info. So there is a command data.info. And if you see whatever the description related to the data set, like data.describe. So see, so this is the output of the data.describe. Describe function is provide you the descriptive statistic of your data set. Descriptive statistic means your mean, your standard deviation, your mean, your quartile 25%, quartile 1, quartile 2, quartile 3, your maximum. So everything we are getting from here. So here we understand that we upload the library, we get the data from the Google Colab, Google Drive, we explore, we pass the data to the data frame, we explore the data, the number of rows, and the data information that we have. We also have this descriptive statistic about the data set. Okay. So now we will explore the data set with more functions. For this, we are exploring our data set, and for that, we are using one more library, and that library is the NumPy. NumPy is the numerical Python because we have to do the sum of the computation part related to the number of columns, some calculative part is there. So that's why we need this library also. Import NumPy as NP. So because in the data set, some of the time we are having, we need to clean the data set. We need to perform the data wrangling operation. During this, we are just going to normalize the data. We are going to clean the data. We are replacing some of the data, manipulate or interpolate the data, because sometimes we have some missed columns, some missed rows, some missed cells are there. So unless until your data is in the exact format, no model will provide you the good results or the accurate results. So see, so we are calling one function that if there is a question mark in any of the column or any of the cell, uh, see there is a np.na. So if there is a any missed entry, so we are going to replace that is with the np.na. np.na means not a number, right? So once we are replacing all the data that is not up to the mark with the NaN, then we will expect that now the new data that we have just replaced with this np.na. So we will see now, is there any problem during this data set? So see, whatever the output we get 302 entries, and under this in these columns we are having not null. So all of the values are okay and up to the mark. Okay, so again we will check out the data.describe. So now we will check, we need to check is there any problem, or is there any null values, or is there any missing values? For that we are having a function is null. If you are calling only is null, it will provide you where we are having a null value in the data set. And if you are integrated it with the dot sum, then it will provide you the count column wise, that do we have any null values or not. See, in this, every column has a 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, but CA and HAL, there are the two columns that provide you the total number of null entries. So here we can able to decide, because it is a very less number and we are taking a very small data set up to the 302 rows only. So when we are having a large volume of data, for example, 1 lakh rows, 10 lakh rows, so we need to understand the visual picture of our data set, so that if we are having a more number of columns and rows that are having the null value, so we need to treat it accordingly. There are a number of functions that will provide you the how to perform the data wrangling and data cleaning part, because it is a very important aspect, because without data processing and data cleaning we can't proceed with any of the deep learning or machine learning models. So this is the simple method. S and S null, just count the number of null values, and if there is any null values, we need to treat it first before moving with the modeling of the data. So, okay, so if you are having the null value, so what action we are going to do? There are some of the very simple methods like drop any. Drop any means we are dropping all the rows and all the columns that are having the null value. So this is as simple as that, because here we are having 4 or 2, a very small amount of, but if you have in, for example, 10 lakh rows and approximately 1 lakh rows has the null values, so we are not going to drop that one, because sometimes it will lose some of the information, so we need to impute it that time. So accordingly we need to decide. Similarly here, because we are having a very less number, so we are just following it, data frame dot drop any. This is a function. So when you run this function, so ultimately it will drop all the rows that is having the null value. So again, if we check data frame dot info, so see there is no null value now. So similarly, there is a no null value. The null value is dropped using the drop any function. Similarly, we have done with the data cleaning part in this data set. So, okay, because we are not giving the header column for the data processing, so that's why I'm going to pop out the header column in the data set. Because in the header column, see, in the starting, we have used this line. Just wait a minute. See here. I'm going to drop this name because it has nothing to do with the training and testing part. So I'm dropping this header column here. And for that, I've just write input names dot pop. So it will drop that row. Okay, so once our data set is now up to the mark and it is ready to done with the further processing part, so just find out the number of columns that is actually required for the data analysis. So for that, we are slicing the data set, and for the slicing, we are using the ilog function, and under the ilog function, we are providing the selected number of columns. So selected number of columns means first means the empty column empty. So that is represented for the number of rows, and we are taking all rows. But for the columns, we are using 0 to 13. It means that 0 to 12 number of columns are used from the data set for the analysis part, and that is stored under the input. Okay, so after that, after the analysis part, that is stored in the target part. In the target part, we are using the column heart disease. So heart disease column, if we explore the data set, see here, there is a value 0 and 1. It indicates that if person is having a heart disease, that value is 1. If person is not having the heart disease, that value is 0. So that's why we are using the two different columns to store the results, and that we will use for the analysis part. So once we are using the 0 to 13 columns to explore the problem with the disease, and then we decided on the basis of these parameters, we can find out the whatever the factors related to the heart disease, and we stored it in the target factor. Okay, so now here we are going to implement the normalization part using the standard scaler. And here we are using one more library, that is the sklearn. It is used for the machine learning implementation. This is the library that is available in the Python. So from this library, we are using this function sklearn.preprocessing import standard scalar. The standard scalar module is basically used for the normalization. It means from the mean to standard deviation, it will provide all the values scale to the 0 to 1, so that whenever we apply any of the function, there is a no over or underflow of the values. So we have a normalized set of values from 0 to 1 range. So that's why we are providing the standard scalar function here, and the standard scalar, we are using the fit function that we have stored in the input data. So we providing the input data here, so it will normalize the entire data that we are going to train in the next step. Okay. So once pre-processing is done and complete, so we have called standard scalar. We are finding out the standard scalar dot fit underscore transformed input. So your input will be scaled now. So the scale input is stored in the variable input scaled, and the column names are the same. So now we are again checking out the describe function, and we are checking out the transpose version of C. So earlier we are having a multiple values, but now see there is a range between 0 and 1. So that's why we are using the standard scalar. Okay. So once we done with this, now we are visualizing the data set and the values we are having in our data set. For the visualization, we are using the next library, that is the matplotlib in the Python, matplotlib.py pyplot as PLT. This is the library, that is data visualization library, and basically it is used for the graphical representation of the results and the data set during the project. So under this input scale, that the data frame we have just using. So this function we are calling here the box plot. Here we are implementing the box plot, and the column we are going to use the input name, show means true, and the result is stored in the variable box plot. So this is the result. See all the columns that is in the data set. This is the box plot, and under the box plot, it is a statistical graph. It provides you the minimum maximum value, median value, and the range of the set of values. So from this, we are able to visualize the frequency of the data and the number of values that is vary from the data set. Okay. So we are having another set of graph that we can explore our data set, that is a scalar matrix. This is another type of data visualization graph. For this, pd.plotting, and under the plotting we are having the scalar matrix. The data set we are using is the input scale. This is the figure size, and the plt.show provide you the actual representation, the output of the graph. So under this, we are finding out the number of patterns of the data. Accordingly, we can decide which column is dependent upon which. So we can able to visualize the results and dependency and correlation between these. Okay. So once we see that the data organization, so we can actually find the correlation from this. So for this, we are calling one function input scaled dot correlation, and the method is the Kalpers method we are using, and the data is stored in the CORDATA. So this is the variable. Okay, so after that, we are finding out the pd dot option underscore stack display the maximum number of rows and maximum number of columns, and depend upon the correlation data that we have find out. So see, this is the result we are providing using the correlation, and we can able to visualize the value and the deviation. So similarly, we can finding out the confusion matrix for our correlation data set, and see this is the result. We are finding out what are the different factors. On the basis of this, we can able to decide and we can find out. So once we have cleaned the data, visualized the data, other aspects, normalize it, now we are implementing the training part. For the training part, we are again using the standard scalar function library. Under standard scalar, because we now need to split the data set into the two parts, training and testing part. And we need not to do it manually. So we are having a inbuilt function under the sklearn. Under the sklearn, we are calling the model underscore selection module, and we are importing the train underscore test underscore split. Okay. So input train, input test, target train, target test. These are the four variables. And in these four variables, we are splitting our data set. And for this, we are calling a function train underscore test underscore split that is available in the sklearn module. And this is the value. This is the input data frame. And we are having a target, and we are providing the ratios. Test size is 30. It means we are using the 70-30 ratio, and we are also using the random state. It means the data set that is shifting from testing and training module, it is the random state. Similarly, we are having the four variables, and we are dividing the data set into the four variables: input test, input train, target test, target train. So this is the output. So see, there are 207 rows in the input train, 89 rows in the input test, and 207 rows in the target train, and 89 in the target test. So see, we are dividing our data set into the 70-30 pattern. Okay. So now here is the time to implement the model. So for models, we are using the Keras API, and under the Keras API, we are calling the sequential approach here. So we are following it, keras.model. And under this, we are using a import sequential, and we are using the keras.layers import dense. So we are using the simple model here, sequential model here. So model name is sequential, and we are adding the layers here. So first of all, model.add. So dense layer we are adding here, we are adding the 30 neurons. Input dimension is 13 because we are taking the 13 columns here. And the activation function we are calling here the tan h. Similarly, we are adding the next layer, and we are using the 20 neurons, and activation function is tan h. And in the last, because we are having the classification that the person is having a heart disease or not, so we are providing a one output neuron, and activation function is the sigmoid here. And once we complete our model definition, then we need to compile it. For this, we are calling the model.compile. And during this, we need to provide some of the default parameters. First is the optimizer, and by default we are having a number of optimizers, and the best optimizer we all always follow is the Adam. So we are providing the Adam as the optimizer here, and there is also loss function that is associated with the error calculation, and so we are using the binary cross entropy loss function. And there are a number of matrices like precision, recall, F1 score, area under curve, number of methods are there. And but the simplest method we are calling here is we are using the accuracy. Okay. So we have defined the model here. This is the model building part. Then we compile the model. After that, we need to check whatever the training and how the model is trained and whatever the exact result. For this, we need to check model.fit. So this is the code in which we are implementing a simple model that can able to predict from the above that this data set, and we are whatever the data we are providing or these columns, the person will able to have the heart disease risks or not. So once you done with this part, it will take some time. So see, there is number of epochs, and the training is going on. And after the training part, we will finding out the model summary. So I repeat, model part, model sequential model is used here. We adding the number of dense layers. We compile the model dot fit. Okay. So once it is done, the training part is complete, we can finding out the overall model architecture using the model.summary function. So model.summary function will provide you the actual architecture that we have just built here. So it will provide you the number of layers. It will provide the number of output features. It will provide you the number of parameter trained here. This is the simple ANN neural network that we have just implemented using the Keras API. Okay, so if you check the model evaluation, the target classification, and the confusion matrix, then these are the function model.evaluate under this input and output target function. Then it will provide you the overall accuracy. See, the accuracy provided here is 82%. And if you want to check the model.predict, you provide the input test case, it will provide you the classification. So similarly, you can check the confusion matrix. It will provide you the ratio between the false, false positive, false negative. So for this, we need to import sklearn.matrix, import confusion matrix. Under this, we need to call confusion matrix function, and we need to provide the y hat and y. So we are providing the target test and target classification. So it will provide you the number of false positive, false negative. So since we have just finding out a case project related to the heart disease prediction, we can check out. So this way we can go with this. I hope this project is very, very simple, and everything is planned. And if you have any doubt in this, so let me know. Otherwise, we'll move to the next project.
Madam,
हाँ जी sir.
which type of artificial neural network here you used, ma'am?
It is a
Just
simpler ANN.
feed
We are
forward.
like we are using the perceptron. We are using a single perceptron here, and yeah, further we are having a multiple models like CNN hai, DNN hai. We have multi-layer perceptrons are there. We are implementing a very simple single perceptron here.
Okay, ma'am. Feed forward neural network, not back propagation.
No, sir, we are not going into that part. We are not implementing here the multi-layer perceptron or FNN. We are just implementing the simple neural network, ANN.
Okay, okay.
Right. So I move to the next project. So it is based on the healthcare. So now very interesting and simplest project. This next project we are implementing is the it is based on the object detections and the image classification based on the happy or sad images. So for this, we are again implementing the artificial neural network, and we are also finding out there are two classes we are implementing here, happy and sad class. So for this, we are scrapping some of the images from the web, and that data we are collecting as a data set, and we are having a two folder here, happy and sad. On the basis of that, our model is going to learn, and it will provide you whenever you are having an image, it will provide you that image is a happy image or a sad image. This is a very simple project of the image classification. Okay, so for this we are using the ANN, and we are implementing the TensorFlow here. So first of all, we need to install the library, pip install TensorFlow. So it will go with the installation of the library. So because we are using some of the features of the OS also, so that's why I have used one of more library here, pip list. Okay, so OS is a very powerful library whenever you deal with the multiple folders and we need to do the path setting. So everyone, if you are moving with the project implementation part using the machine learning and deep learning, it's recommended to all of you, then explore the OS library as well. So we are using the two library here, operating system that will provide you the path kind of stuff and help you to figure out the folders and the content inside that folder. And the TensorFlow is the main library which supports you the implementation of the artificial neural networks, convolution neural networks, and so on. So here we are implementing the ANN only. Okay. So this is the optional code that is only accessible when we are having the GPU facility. This code need to be removed when you are implementing it without GPU, only the CPU features are there. Okay. So that part will be excluded. It is used only in case of GPU is available to you. Okay. So first of all, because I'm using the image classification here, so I need to install one of the library that is related with the image part. So we are using the CV2 here. CV2 is the computer vision version 2. This is the image classification library. And for this, we are using these two libraries. And I'm also using the OpenCV Python library for the image classification part. So you can use some other libraries like Silo. There are more libraries. So I'm using the OpenCV here. So you need to, if you are going with this project, you can use the OpenCV. So once we install with the libraries, so now we need to get the data from the net. So I'm using this data. I'm explore or scrape the data from the web, some of the random images for the happy and sad faces from the internet. So the data, I'm using one folder here and data underscore dir. So I'm providing the data in the this directory. So the image extensions we are exploring here, it is the JPG, JPEG, JPG, BMP, and PNG. So this is the code that will provide you the automatic labeling of the images, because when we need to categorize or classify a class, we need to identify like image 0, 1, 2, 3. So we need to arrange the images or the data in the sequence. So this is the code for that. So what we are doing here, image is a class in the os.list.dir. So we are providing the directory list. Under the directory list, we are providing the folder data dir. So under this, the OS path feature will join the image class under this. And under the image class, we are combining all the images that are present in that class. And we are using the cv2.imageRead function from the image path, and whatever the image read, it is explored. And if that image is not exceeded, it will remove all the images that is not under this extension that we have already used above. JPEG, JPG, BMP, or PNG. All the other extensions it will not consider, it will remove these images. So this code will just help you to figure out the folder data dir. Under this, we are having the two classes, image classes, happy and sad. And under this, it will categorize all the images and label according to the image 0, 1, 2, 3, and remove all the images that is not under this extension. Okay, so once the data is prepared, so now again, we are using some of the libraries like in the previous project, we have used the NumPy, Pandas, and Matplotlib. Same libraries we are calling here too. So I'm using the NumPy, I'm using the Matplotlib here. And again, I'm using the Keras API to call the data set from the dictionary. So it is an inbuilt function because in the latest version of the TensorFlow, the Keras is embedded in this. So that's why the path is tensorflow.keras.utilities.image underscore dataset from the dictionary. So this is the dataset we are using here. And under this dataset, all the data content is copied to the variable data. Okay, so see here, when you check out this, the function that we have just called here, it will provide you that we have found 305 files belong to two classes. It means that this function will finding out the different dictionary or different folders inside your data automatically. We need to explain that we are having 3 folders, 4 folders, it will automatically identify the different classes. So this is the function, inbuilt function that is available in the tensors and keras. Okay. So if you're finding out number of images, the labels, you can also use this. So this is the function. Okay. Okay, so this is all about the data set. So this are all of the some of the functions that you can check out the number of batch, because we are having 302 images, 305 images, and whenever we have a model training, we can allocate a batch there. So see, there is a batch we have just created for the 32 images, a batch of 32 images. So if you check out the batch number 1, so there is a value that takes 0101. What it indicates? It indicates that the random images that collected from the 2 classes for the training or testing purposes, that is by the random selection by the this Keras API. So 0 means that it is a belong to class 1, and 1 means that it belong to class 2. So ultimately, it will random picking the number of images from these classes, and it will figure out the images belong to class 1 or class 2. So I'm just providing you the idea. So how this is going to happen. Okay, so now before starting with that, add that previously in the previous project, we have just normalized the data site to 0 and 1. We provide the scaling using the standard scaler. So similarly, for the images part, because in the real world, we are seeing the images in the color aspect, and but computer read the images in the pixel and numerical value only. So it will read the color intensity. So for the computer, everything is the number. So to simplify the calculation and the better proximity, we are going to scale our images. And again, we are providing the images with the 0 and 1. So for this, we are normalizing it. So whatever the image set divided by 255, what it will do, it will provide the images in the range of 0 and 1. Yes. So again, we are using this with the all of the set of images. That's why we call it as this, right? We have scaled the images, and once it is scaled, see. So we have just scaled the images. Earlier it was different pixel values, but now see, everything is depend between 0 and 1. So now everything is visual in the form of 0 and 1. It means we have scaled the images pixel between 0 and 1 using the scale feature. Okay. So we now going to split the data set. So now we are going to split data set. For the data set, we are going to split the data set, training size, variable size, and test size. So we are providing the 3 folders here, one for the training, one for the validation, and one for the testing. And for this, we are implementing here the 70% of the images are using for the training purpose, 20% is for the validation, and 10% for the testing. You can change this variation. You can change for 6 to 2, 60, 20, 20%. It depends the requirement. So I'm using the 70, 20, and 10. So training size is 70%, validation 20%, testing for the 10%. Okay. So how you can divide this? So see, data dot take training size, data dot skip. For the skip, because whatever the image is going to the training part, we are going to skip that, and other from the reflect we are checking out for the validation. And data dot skip, now we are skipping the validation and training both, and the rest of the image are taken for the testing. So this is the code reflecting that. Okay, so now here is the time to build the simple ANN model, and I'm not using here the CNN. We are not using that one. We are using a simple model here. Okay, so for this, I'm again using the Keras API, and we are using this sequential Keras API here. So for this TensorFlow.keras.model, import the sequential function here. and we are calling the sum of the function. So because I'm using the convolution operation here, so I'm implementing here the CNN here. So previous example I have showed with the ANN. Now I'm using the CNN here because I'm using the convolutional operation here. If the convolution operation is not there, we are just adding the dense layer, then we call it as a simple ANN. So this is a difference between these. Okay, so how to build the model? Because first of all, I'm going to build the sequential model. So model is a sequential here. Okay, so now we need to add the layers. So model dot add, because in the first layer we are providing the data input, so that's why it is a difference here. So first we need to call the convolve 2D, so number of factors, and this is the kernel size, and the activation function we are using here the relu, and the input size, the images we are using it is the 256, 256 and 3. It means that we are providing the color images. 256 pixels, 256 pixels, and 3 indicates the RGB. So after that, every convolution operation, we are using a pooling layer here. So max pooling is using here, max pooling 2D. Right? Again, we are adding one more layer here. And again, after the convolution, we again adding the pooling layer. So we are adding the 3 layers for the convolution operation here. And the neurons using in the first layer is 16, then 32, then 16. And these 3 layers are for the convolution and max pooling layers, because in the CNN, after every convolution operation, we are having a pooling layer. So see, the pattern is same. Convolution layer and max pool, convolution layer and the max pool, convolution layer and the max pool. So once we are decided the number of layers that we need to add in the CNN, then last layer will be a flatten layer with soft max matrix layer. So after the flatten layer, we need to add the dense layer, and we need to find out the number of classifications there. So activation function is again ReLU, and the last layer that will be your output layer. So it is the dense layer with one neuron, final output, and activation function used here is the sigmoid. So this is the model explanation here. This is the model that we have just defined for the classification of these images. Okay, so once we have defined the model, so now going to compile it, and after that training will start. So model.compile, Adam is the optimizer, loss function is the loss.binary cross entropy function, and matrix is used for the accuracy matrix here. So whatever we have done, implemented, we check out with the help of model.summary. So this is the architecture of your neural network we have just defined. So this is the architecture. So it is a sequential model. So number of convolution layer, first convolution layer, input output shape will be 254, 254, 16, and the number of parameter train 448. Similarly, the max pooling layer, the convolution second layer, convolution third layer, flatten layer, dense layer 1, and the last layer, the final output. And the total number of parameters is this, and the total number of trainable parameters are this. So this is about your CNN. So now training will be started. For the training, we need to call this function. Basically, this is a tensor board function that will provide you dashboard. This will provide you the input and outputs related to your training and whatever the data and whatever the results we are getting. So this is the optional one. If you don't want to call this one, there is no issue in that. You just simply go with the model.fix function. It will provide you the number training data, number of epochs, and the validation and whatever the results after the training you are providing here. So everything, because it is a image related data, so it will take time. It may be half an hour, it may be more than half an hour, depending on the size of data set you are taking for the training and testing purpose. So once the training is completed, once this training part is completed with your data set, then you need to plot the exact performance of your model. For this, we need to call the history function. The history function is used to explore the loss, the accuracy levels for your model. So from that, you can able to learn the actual performance of your data set. So history function is used. Okay, so for the evaluation, you can check out these are the number of parameters like accuracy, recall, precision. So just you need to call, you can finding out in these libraries, tensors and dot keras dot matrix, import precision, recall, binary accuracy. Because in the previous we are use only the accuracy, we are having one more accuracy matrix. There is a precision and recall that will provide you the exact cases of the errors and more probability and more related result. So here we are finding out. So we are getting out the results related to the precision, recall and accuracy. And then you can able to finding out the exact figures, and all the data is provided in the tensor board. Okay, now this is the testing phase. We are uploading one image and we are resizing the image as per the normalization scale we have used during the model training. Then we are using model.predict. So now it will give you that this particular image belongs to class 1 or class 2. So if your model training is accurate and the performance of your model is best, then it will provide you the exact result. Or it may vary depend upon the data size, depend upon the training, depend on number of epochs, you can increase the number of layers, you can modify the architecture to get the better accuracy. And once you have done with everything, you have done with the model building part, model training part, evaluation part, then you need to save the model. So for save, you need to write this one, model.save. So model.save, it will save your file and it is always in the extension of .h file. So whenever you want to rerun the same trained models, you just need to load the model and call the predict function. So this is the simplest example of the image classification using the CNN model. And if it is okay, I will provide you the data and these notebooks. So it is a very simple example. So I think everybody is enjoying it this while practicing it. So should I go ahead with the next project or is there any doubt?
Excellent, ma'am. You can go, ma'am. Next project, ma'am. Can we use CNN for heart disease predictions? So those
Yes,
things
we
we
can
can do.
use. There is no issues on that. We can use. I am going
How-
with the step-by-step process. First, I've started with the simple ANN, then move to the CNN. So you can use the machine learning as well. You can use the linear logistic regression, SVM, random forest. You can use that one also. Everyone will work out. But in case of the complex problem like sentiment analysis and some of the other issues, then we need to move with the RNN, CNN part that. But in the simplest problem, you can use any of them.
Okay, okay, okay. Thank you very much, ma'am.
So now one more project that I have just finding out here. So that project is related with the Parkinson disease. So it is also based on the deep learning project. So before, because everybody is not familiar with the Parkinson, so I will give you the brief layout. What is this disease and how we are visualizing it with the help of machine learning model. So I'm giving you some brief related to this. Okay. The Parkinson disease, it is a special case. It is a basically disease related with the your mental setup, we are going to forget the frequently things that we are happening in our life, so it is kind of that state. So basically, Parkinson's disease is a neurodegenerative disorder characterized by symptoms like tremors, rigidity, motor impairments. And if we are having the earlier diagnosis of these disease, so then we can improve the quality of life of the patient. So it is very, very important to say that the data set is very important here because for the Parkinson disease, because it is a rare disease and it is a neurodegenerative disorder, so data set has a huge impact on the machine learning models and deep learning models. If you explore on the internet, it is a secured part of related to the data of the patient, and we are having a very limited content related to this. And there are a number of examples. We are having a multi-model approaches are there, machine learning approaches are there that is going to help in this diagnosis part. So I'm using the simplest data set for this Parkinson disease. So data collection is a very important aspect because if we are going with the EGG data, electrocardiogram data, we are finding out the some of the nodes and responses as per the human. So it is very tough to get the exact data and huge amount of data to diagnose. So that's why the reality reliability factors vary in this. Okay, so there are number of cases. We can use the machine learning as well as the deep learning aspects in the implementation of this. So we are using the same workflow. We are using the data set, data pre-processing, data normalization, model building. Then we go with the proceed with the training and testing part, and finally the classification. So here we are using, so this data set we are calling from the Kaggle. So this is the source. So you can also get it from the Kaggle. So Kaggle input Parkinson dataset, Parkinson dataset. So there are number of columns that we are used. So again, we are using the library Pandas. Pandas library is used for basically the data analysis part, data framing, and we are using the data wrangling part of stuff using the Pandas. So again, because we are using the CSV file, so we are reading it with the help of function pd.read_csv. And we are replacing the content that is not relevant with our this. So we are basically data pre-processing. So I dot replace, it means what we are using it. So we are replacing the blank spaces. We are replacing with this kind of data so that we can able to understand so what this name is, what this column is, so we can able to find out. So this is just a pre-processing part of your data. Okay. So df.column, it will provide you the list of columns that is available in your data set. So this is already we have done with the previous project, df.describe. Df is data frame, dot describe is function that is provide to the descriptive statistic of your data, provided number of count of the rows and columns, mean, standard deviation, minimum, maximum, quartile 1, 2, 3. Okay, so here we are using some of the function that is related to the sequential model API. So these are the libraries we are calling for this. So NumPy, import load text. Keras, we are using the Keras API sequential, and we are using to add the dense layer, we are calling this library tensor.keras.layers import dense. Then we are having this is the repeated, and then for the normalization we are using the standard scaler. We are using for the model selection, and then train, test, and split for the automatic splitting of the data into the multiple parts. Then we are having a matrices that we need to call confusion matrix, ROC underscore AOC, and ROC curve. Then we have this here we are starting with the data preprocessing, df.copy.drop column name. So what we are doing here, we are dropping some of the columns that is not required, and we store the rest of the data in the df underscore train. Okay, so to list, it means we are providing the data set to list, so that will be included. So we are providing the target column. So target column is where our result is stored. For example, in the earlier case, we are having a diabetes. So target column is a diabetes, either is the class belong to 0 or 1. So that's why here we are having a status. That particular person is having a Parkinson or not. That will be your target column. On the basis of that, we are going to do the classification. Okay, columns dot remove the target, that is removed from the data set because we need to use for the training purpose. Okay. So then we have the df underscore train, the column name plus target column, and we are implementing the standard scalar here to normalize the data set. Then we transform it, and we again use the data frame to finding out the scale value. Then we concatenate both of that, and we are providing this is the data set now we are going to train. So see, this is the data set. These are the number of variables that is related to the Parkinson and the values. So see here, the last value is the status. The status will provide that that particular person is having the Parkinson or not. So these are the column values that is related to the some of the important factors related to the countability of the Parkinson's. So I will provide you the details of these variables with this file so that you can explore it. Okay. So whatever the data we are having before starting with the model building, just finding out a quick layout of the data exploration, and we can finding out the dependency of the variables, and finding out the correlation between them. So this is a heat map that we are going to represent and visualize the data, because it will give you the clear picture that we need to proceed with which columns and which variables that will counted, and that will provide you the support for analysis of this. So for the heat map, we are using one more library here, import Seaborn. Seaborn again is a data visualization library, and which is used to support the exact finding out the correlation between the multiple columns. So for implementing this, we are using the C1 SNS dot heat map, and we need to finding out the correlation. Annotation is true, and the point is the format size is this. So this will be output this, right? So again, now we are implementing the model here. So we are dividing the data set into the training and target. So column name and the target column. So X is your data, and Y hat will be your values that we need to proceed with the prediction purpose. So these are the variables, test X, test Y, test train X, and train Y. So we are going to call this test split function in the Keras that will divide your data set into the equally, and here we are using the test size is equal to 0.3, means we are dividing into 70-30 ratio, and the state is always random. Again, we are using the random means we are not doing any biasness to the data. It will randomly select any of the pick, right? It means every time the same pick will not going to select. So whenever you start the training, every time a new setup of the data will be provided. So again, we are providing the test and train, and here we are using the status because this is your actual value. And after going production with the, we can finding out the what is the accurate result and what are the predicted result and how variation is that, so we can finding out the loss. So that's why we are assigning these. Okay, so now we start with the model building here. Again, from the TensorFlow, we are using the model and we are using the layer. So again, sequential model we are called here. Okay, for the sequential model, again, I'm using to add the model dot add layers. We are using to add dense layer and 16 neurons, activation function ReLU, and input features we are providing 22. So second dense layer I'm adding here, and the third dense layer I'm adding here. In the second dense layer we are adding the ReLU function, and in the third dense layer we are adding the sigmoid function. And the optimizer for the compilation, we are using here the RMS proper. So we can use the add-on here. We are having a multiple options. You can try any of them, and where we can get the better accuracy, we can fix with that. So loss function, we are using the binary cross entropy, and the matrices, we are using the accuracy matrix. So optimizer, we can change it. We can change according to your requirement. So once we decided, we have finding out and we are layered the model, then we can compile the model, then we can test and we can do the training part. We can check out the history part of the model, and again the training is started. And in case of the image data set, it will take more time, and in case of text, it will give you the result within the 20 to 30 minutes. So once your training is done, again we call the history function. We call the history function to finding out the accuracy and the validation graphs. So here we are getting out the results using the history function. See, every time we need to call, whenever the training of the model is there, we are exploring the history, whatever the epochs, and how the data is got trained, how the production come out. So we are having a history related to this, and from that we can finding out the loss, we can finding out the accuracy, and we can plot the graphs as well. So we can finding out the other variables, because everything is stored whenever the model is trained. So every matrix is available in these libraries API. We can plot anything we want. So this is the confusion matrix. So this is this next model we have just used. So we can figure out the model summary. So what architecture we have just followed, we can finding out the result, we can finding out the feature. So this is about the next project. So 3 projects till now I have explored. So it is over to me, because we are having lot of stuff in the machine learning and deep learning part. We are having a number of real-time projects. So it is not ever possible to include everything in this. So I tried my best to provide you the best scenario in which we can implement the ANN CNN part using and explore the multiple aspects of the healthcare and other domains. So in case of any doubt, any problem, just ask. I'm open to questions now.
Dear participant, now the session is open for discussion and you can put your questions. This is open, and feel free to ask any kind of questions. And I hope that all the questions which you will put will be very important for this session.
Okay,
Ma'am,
I have one question. Can I?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So we train the model, and then we have give some, we find final result is some Parkinson disease prediction. So what is the final result, and what is the benefit for this type of, people are have disease? What is
Okay.
where is the benefit?
Sir, see, whenever we are implementing deep learning or machine learning, always we are having a pipeline. For example, I'm writing here, just give me a minute. So the pipelining, first of all, we are having an input. That will be your data. Because data is in the raw form, or it is uncleaned or unformatted data. So every time we are providing the data pre-processing. Because without it, we can't proceed with the model building part, because model will not able to take the direct input unless it is the process on. So just give me a minute. I'm writing the steps here. Number 1 is input. Number 2 is data pre-processing. And then normalization in case wherever is required. So after normalization, we are deciding which model we need to follow, either in the case of machine learning or in the case of deep learning. And after that, we need to finding out the training and testing separation. training and test data set. And after that, training will going on. And once the training is complete during the number of epochs, then we can finding out we will evaluate the model performance while testing, and if we get results during the testing and it is up to the mark and we are getting a better accuracy, then we can say that this model is a appropriate and accurate model and going to predict. And if you are questioning about why we are using and what is the application area of this kind of thing, for example, we are having a lot of data related to anything. For example, in case of credit card fraud, right? We take one example. So in the case of credit card fraud, I just want to know that is there any fraud or not. So there are number of factors related to which we can finding out, for example, your OTP, GPS location, and the GPS location from where we are finding out. So they are the factors, the performance behavior, there are number of factors. And if we are providing the machine to the training that if there is a fraud, then this kind of a scenario is there. So whenever the same scenario or the same set of values appear to the machine, then machine can able to diagnose that there is a case, there is a fault. So machine will provide you the case. So this is just the case that machine will help you to automate the problem. So automatically machine will guide you that there is a problem or there is not a problem. So we are just doing that. In this scenario, there are number of other tasks also, because the data set is always, because in the medical line, if we say there is a very minute calculations, because here we are having a heavy set of image segmentation. We are not simply using the CNN or ANN part. We need to explore the UNN and other segmentation processes there, so that we can finalize out if that particular tumor, particular class is there or not. So in that the span of 1 hour, it is not visible to discuss all that kind of stuff. So I'm going with the very simple steps. So if you have to implement, you need to go with the step one. You need to find out there is a how to implement a simple ANN and how you proceed with the simple classification task. Once you familiar with these kind of thing, and the most of the libraries are same, the library steps are same. We need to just explore the further things at that. So I'm start with the simplest aspect, because I'm not know to the audience and their level and how they expect these things. So I started with simple things. I hope you will get it, or I need to give more example or explanation for that. I will do that if it is not clear for you.
Okay, ma'am. Like we have a, I mean, lot of disease in the hospitals. Can we also, I mean, make a prediction some other disease,
Yes,
and
yes,
that
we
can
can.
help?
Sir, every time, every place where there is a numerical computation part, we can imply machine learning and deep learning. Every time when we are having a data in form of any numerical system, because the system and the computer science or in the AI, the everything is depend upon the numerical computation part. If there is a system, we can compute it in the numerically, then we can implement it. Yes, we can.
Okay, all right. And okay, right. We train the model in 100 time, 1,000 time, and
Yes, yes.
5,000 for, because we that give the exact prediction, exact result we want. So
Sir, in case of deep learning models, the minimum epochs required is 1,000. It can move to the 10,000 also, depend upon. So how critical the scenario is, how critical the case is, how much training is required, how much accuracy is required. So 1,000 is the minimum in case of deep learning, and the data set it to need to be large enough so that the machine can learn different type of patterns from that. So it will provide you the better accuracy. So in just because of a demo case here, we see that there is 100 epochs, but in case of deep learning, 1,000 is the minimum required.
okay. So it will be help to give the best result and best prediction.
Yes, yes. If you have a better training, it will provide you the better result.
But it takes a lot of time if we have
Yes,
any
yes. Deep learning we need. Yes, it will take 1 week also for the training.
1 week. Okay. All right. ठीक है. Thank you.
Ma'am, are we having any LSTM examples?
At present, I have not covered my notebooks with the LSTM, but yes, we can implement. But LSTM we required in case of, for example, movie review where we are having a text analysis and where is a text kind of stuff because CNN is only related with the fixed set of, for example, images are there. But if you are having a sequence data
Yes,
that is related with this some long set
time
of
series.
sequence, for example. So in that case, we need a RNN and LSTM part definitely, but I am not covered that my notebook ready with that example. So I will provide you if you need it.
Yes, ma'am. Yes. Have you worked on that, ma'am? So that
Yes,
maybe
I have worked on some of the examples like NLP part, movie sentiment analysis, and
yes,
movie review analysis that we have done with these simple examples, and we can move it with the complex like we can implement the up to transformers we can go, but
yes,
that is not included in this.
ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Can I have your email ID, ma'am, in the chat? I will copy.
Sure, sir. You can get it from me,
I,
Dr. Meher.
that's so much. Okay, ma'am. Okay, thank you. Dr. Gopi, ma'am, here.
And ma'am, yeah, right now, this model is used in Indian hospital or not? But
Yes, yes, sir. Please repeat.
we have I mean, we are using this data science model and give the result some. But right now,
Mhm.
this is used in our
So
Indian.
right now we are using because there is a trend of the transformers. Once the chat GPT came in 2022, November 2022. So that scenario introduced the transformers into the market. And nowadays we are having a number of visual transformers. We are having a number of libraries that are ready to use like transfer learning earlier. So we can use it. And these are the base. If you understand this, how this models are working, how the convolution operation, then we can finding out the how the transformer can use for the encoding and decoding purposes. So we need to start from the base only. Then we can proceed with that further.
Because I mean, a lot of people are working, I mean, in this model, but I
Yes,
think
the
uh,
transformers are used nowadays, sir.
it is not helping to the people, those who are admitted in the hospital. I think right now I'm in 40s in AIMS, not using
Hmm.
data science model and get a prediction that.
Actually, sir, if you want to go for the clinical trials, है ना?
Mhm.
So for that, lot training and accuracy that need a confirmation from because there are number of companies that are working on this AI modeling. So number of gadgets, I have known number of companies in the Gurgaon. My number of students are working there as an intern. So it will provide you the rigorous coding there and training. It is unless until a 1.5 year training, we can't deploy a model and a product in the market. So people are working on this area.
Okay. ठीक है, thank you.
Any more questions?
And dear participant, if any more question,
Ma'am, can we get these all?
Yes, I will provide you. I will also provide you some extra that
Yes,
carry the
ma'am. Yes,
LSTM and other stuff.
LSTM also, ma'am. Thank you so
Yes,
much, ma'am.
I will
So,
provide.
so nice of you, ma'am. Very, very, very clear explanation you have given. Thank you so much. It's great of you.
also please feel free to contact us in the future also. In near future, if you have any challenge for like this type of the project or computing or implementation of the machine learning or deep learning,
Definitely, sir. Thank you
anytime.
so Thank you so much, sir.
Dear participant, if you have any more question, ma'am, I think we should check also the chat box if there is question.
Let me explore, sir. Hmm.
Uh,
In the first model, what if the data is hard copy? Suppose, okay. Sir, if we are having a tabular data in the hard copy, there are number of tools nowadays available. You just need to click a picture. So that picture will be converted into the Excel sheet. So no need to worry about that because at present number of tools are available that are immediately convert a picture into the Excel sheet.
okay. Ma'am, there is one more question about this one. Please go back. Submitted
Thank you.
by Jean. Okay, I think this is only the feedback submitted here.
Sir, I didn't find any more questions there.
Yeah, yes, ma'am. There is no more question.
Thank you, sir.
So, ma'am, thank you very much for your valuable time and nice presentation and models which you present here are really very informative, knowledgeable, and participant can easily implement those technique for their finding, for their work, and they can learn a lot. The content and the sequence of the statement for using the Python and implementation of the model in Python. I think this will be very supportive for their work. And also, I request to the participant, as I said earlier, if you have any challenge and you want to collaborate with this team in this week, numerous speakers present their thought during the session, and all of the content which we try to cover are really very supportive to all the participants. And we would like to present a certificate of appreciation proudly presented to Dr. Upinder Kaur for this wonderful session. She has presented a captivating and insightful keynote address titled on the project presentation, Predictive Modeling, AI Solutions for Real World Problem at the 1 week workshop on Next Gen AI and ML held from 12 to 18 November 2024. We deeply acknowledge and are honored for her exemplary contribution as the keynote speaker. As you know, the program is jointly organized by Baufrid College, Bathinda, Naxal University, South Africa, Prima College of Engineering, Jaipur, and Research and Development Cell, PCE, Jaipur, and Method Thinking Foundation. So once again, ma'am, thank you for your valuable time at this platform. Now, the session of this workshop is all about over. Now we have a validity session. I would like to hand over the session to Dr. Pooja. Ma'am, over to you.
Sir, I would like to leave now if
Yes, yes,
it is
sure, ma'am. You can leave now.
okay. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you.
Dr. Pooja, ma'am.
Uh, Yes, sir.
Yes,
Thank
ma'am.
you, sir. I'll go on from here.
And also, please
Good
don't
evening,
forget we
everyone.
have
I
the
would
group
like
photo
to.
at the end. We should have the screenshot of all the participant. So at the time, I request to all the participant at the end, please open your webcam so that we can have nice clicks and screenshot. But before that, we have a validity. And ma'am, Dr. Pooja, ma'am, please proceed.
Okay, sir. Thank you. Am I audible to everyone? Please
Yes, ma'am.
write a
Perfect.
text in the chat box. Okay, okay. Thank you. Okay, good evening, everyone. I, Dr. Pooja Sharma, Assistant Professor Biotechnology from Baba Farid College, India, welcome you all to the valedictory session of 1 week workshop on Next Generation Artificial Intelligence and Machine Learning, an international forum on breakthrough and innovations, taking place from 12 to 18 November 2024. And this was jointly organized by MathTech Thinking Foundation, that is MTTF Fazilka, Purnima College of Engineering, Jaipur, Baba Farid College, India, and Nexus University, South Africa. We extend our deepest gratitude to Chief Patron, Professor M.P. Punia, Campus Director, Baba Farid Group of Institutions, Professor Gurmeet Singh Dhaliwal, Chairman, Baba Farid Group of Institutions, India, Professor Mahesh M. Bundele, Principal and Director, Purnima College of Engineering, India, our co-patrons, Dr. Manish Bansal, Principal, Baba Farid College, Dr. Pankaj Dhemla, Professor and Vice Principal, Purnima College of Engineering, Ms. Gmotso Bimortolo, Nexus University, South Africa, and Dr. Sonia Malik, Dean R&D, Baba Farid Group of Institutions, India. And to our convener, Dr. Meherchand, Baba Farid College, Bathinda, President MTTF, and Professor Dr. Shilpi Jain, Purnima College of Engineering, for meticulously organizing and presenting the objectives and schedule. On the behalf of the organizing committee, I extend my heartfelt appreciation to all our distinguished speakers and participants from across the globe who have made this event a success. Dear participants, we would now love to hear your feedback on the workshop. Please feel free to unmute your mic to share your thoughts, or you may write your feedback in the chat box, and I'll be happy to read them aloud for everyone. Please note that when sharing your feedback, kindly introduce yourself by stating your name and the country you are joining from. Additionally, we welcome your opinions or suggestions on how we can improve this event in the future, as well as the topics you'd like us to cover in the upcoming sessions. Your insights are invaluable to us, and we look forward to hearing from you. So please, if you want to provide any feedback, you can unmute your mic or you can write in the chat box so I can read it aloud.
Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yes, hello.
Yeah, so probably can you hear me? Am I audible now?
Yes, sir. You're audible, sir.
Thank you very much. Yeah, I just wanted to express my heartfelt gratitude for being part of this workshop. I've learned a lot. Honestly, I'm still trying to digest what I've been consuming up to this stage. But thank you very much, especially the part of the optimization techniques. I found them to be applicable to almost everything that we have been doing. And any opportunity of getting more of such workshops, I would really be pleased to be part of. Thank you very much.
Thank you for feedback, sir.
My pleasure.
I'm Dr. Gopi Krishna, working as senior lecturer at University of Technology and Applied Sciences, Oman.
Yes, sir.
It's a really very useful program. I already have the hands-on experience, but even then, when we keep on attending this type of workshops, our knowledge will be what we can say refined and enriched. So in that way, I have been benefited with respect to some more additional knowledge. And thank you very much for organizing this type of programs. I would like to say my sincere thanks to MTTF and Meherchand and all the organizers. So please keep on organizing this type of events. I will also circulate. Already I circulated among my colleagues. Even some of my colleagues also they have attended this program. We will communicate to everyone. Thank you very much, ma'am. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you. Thank you for your feedback, sir.
Sir, any kind of suggestions from your side to improve the quality or
among all the 6 day sessions, today session, this type of things will be more useful and more interesting. Some sessions they have given the basic ideas. Whoever they don't have the knowledge, for them it will be useful. And whoever having already experience, this type of today workshop and before hands-on experience, that will be more useful. So,
Thank you, sir.
thank you. Thank you.
Hello,
Hello.
hello,
Yes, you are audible.
hello.
Hello.
Hello, yes, you are
Hello.
audible, sir.
Okay, my name is Kroe Fewa from Nigeria and Niger Delta University.
Okay,
I
sir.
enjoy the lecture, although it is my first time of getting into just a last workshop.
Yes, sir.
Think he disconnected.
There's a message in the chat box from Mr. Sanjay Sarkar, who's an assistant professor, and he wrote that it was a very much valuable workshop with very much informative knowledge. We learned a lot from the workshop. Thank you, sir. And from the on behalf of the organizing committee, I thank you for the feedback. If there are any suggestions or improvements anyone would want to suggest us for the next time of the event or the workshop, please either write it down in the chat box, or you can unmute your mic and speak yourself.
Mr. Upkar Singh.
Hello, good evening to all. I'm audible,
Good
sir.
evening, sir.
Yeah, audible, sir.
Yeah, I think some problem with my camera. I am trying to open, it's not working. Thanks a lot, sir, Arjun, sir. Thanks for conducting such a nice workshop and discussing in detail about machine learning, AI, and the deep learning concepts. All the days the sessions are wonderful, and we learn a lot, and it's very helpful for the beginners, for the person they are already working in this area. And I extend my special thanks to Dr. Gopi Krishna, sir. He is my colleague, and he is very active in our department. He only keep on sending all these links. Through him only I came to know about this very wonderful workshop, sir. So thanks a lot to all the speakers. They have given their time, valuable time, and make this workshop successful. And thanks to all the organizers who have conducted such a nice workshop. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much.
Dr. Jyoti.
There's messages in the chat box from the participants. One is from Dr. Aisha Hina and Karnataka. All the session were amazing, but loved Anand Nayar sir's session and looking forward to attend many more sessions in the future. I express my deep sense of gratitude to Meher Chand sir, MTTF, Purnima Group of Institutions, and Baba Farid Group of Institutions for beautifully organizing this 1 week fruitful workshop. That was from Dr. Aisha Hina. Thank you, Dr. Hina. And next is from Kavita Lal, Assistant Professor. This 1 week workshop has been very valuable. All the sessions gave so much knowledge. Thank you. And Ridwan Alimi from Nigeria. The 1 week workshop on next generation AI and ML was an exceptional learning experience that exceeded my expectations. The sessions were insightful, engaging, and well curated, providing a solid foundation and practical understanding of predictive modeling and AI solutions for real world challenges. Dr. Upinder Kaur's session in particular was amazing, offering a brilliant blend of theoretical knowledge and practical application. The focus on real-world problem solving demonstrated the transformative potential of AI and machine learning in diverse domains. I appreciate the organizers' efforts in structuring the program effectively, ensuring participants could gain both conceptual clarity and technical skills. The project presentations were especially inspiring, showcasing innovative AI-driven solutions to pressing global challenges. For future workshops, I would recommend exploring topics such as AI applications in climate change, mitigation, and sustainability. Thank you, Ridwan Alimi, for the suggestions and the feedback. And the next one is
I want to give the.
oh,
Can I give the? Can I say something about this 1 week workshop?
obviously, sir.
Yes,
This
definitely.
one is for the feedback.
Okay. In 1 week, I think there is a different. I mean, doctors give the lectures and on the workshop. I think this is a uh, best workshop that gives the practical knowledge. This is not theoretically. This all over everything is practically, and we cannot. Uh, uh, we cannot give this knowledge on the internet after working on 6 months and even 1 year, because that comes from the experience and practical knowledge. Dr. Anand Nair and Dr. Rizwan Senapati, and that gives a extraordinary lecture in my experience last 10 years. I mean, work on a lot of works uh, um, about AI and data science, but I never give I never see that information. You can learn anywhere in the world. So this is the, I think, extraordinary and best workshop. In the future, I feel in the future it will be more informative and more powerful workshop will be Dr. Mason will be start, I think. So this is a one platform where there is not a theoretical things. These are the practically things we are sharing, and we can learn a lot of things in the future. So thank you, Mason sir, and thank you to all the team that uh, gives a valuable times and valuable information. So it will be definitely help to all the people that want to just learn that. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. There's another feedback from Dr. Farid from Saudi Arabia. The organizing committee did an excellent job in planning and executing the workshop, ensuring smooth coordination, engaging sessions, and a collaborative environment for participants. Thank you so much for a nice workshop. Thank you, Dr. Farid, for the feedback. And Dr. Vinod Patidar, all the sessions were good and valuable, but I want to give a suggestions that if you provide all the PPTs if possible. So
Yes, the content which we got from the speakers, surely we will provide. And today's session, Dr. Upinder, she will provide us all the content along with the script file. Surely we will upload in the same Google link. And speaker Anand Nair, as he recommended that he is not able to share the content due to authentic. So as soon as we will get the content, we will upload there, and I will let you know by tomorrow as soon as possible, so that you can do practice on it. And if you need some more content for the uh, like machine learning implementation, we have some more content, and I will try to upload there so that you can do some hands-on practice on this content. And also we have started a certificate course on data analytic. So if you are interested or willing, I will share those content also, and you can cover. This is a 30 hours course. Okay, you can go through these detail. And in the near future also we have planned several programs, and I hope that these will help you in the near future. But when we are sharing the feedback form, if you submit some more suggestions, what type of the problems you are facing, because any event or the program, if we organize according to the need of the participant or the challenges they face. And if we target all those topic, then I think this will be more fruitful and informative, knowledgeable, and support to the participant. So in the beginning, also we try to organize all the activities in this way. But this program, which you are attending right now, this is little bit advanced, and some of the speaker are new, like Anand Rare. First time he was invited at at this platform. He is very old friend, my friend, but he is working very hard. Some participants when are joining this type of the program, and from the beginning, so this type of the advanced program becomes very typical or for the participant. So the programs which we previously organized, all those were very hands-on and day-wise content along with the script file. Day by day, we provide them, and they practice more on by using the content which we upload for the same. So this was this activity, this program which we organize now is advanced program using the AI and ML for the next generation, and on the basis of this workshop, there will be sequence of workshop in the coming year 2025, and we are planning accordingly. And you will see all these workshop, and all the participants who are attending and are registered for this activity, we will intimate through your registered email address. So please don't worry. We
Okay,
are
sir.
here to support you, and this is the open platform uh, for to share, to help each other. We are also ourselves learning from you and the from the speakers. So the speakers and who are the expert, they can excellence their field, and the slow learners or beginners, they can get information from the experts. So this is completely open platform, open discussion, and as much possible from our side we can support, and we can exchange our thought, and we can make a beautiful society for the STEM professional. So in this direction we are working. Now, Pooja ma'am, over to you.
Okay, sir. So there are a lot of comments in the chat box now for the feedback. Do I read all of them?
Please present some of this. We have little time,
Okay.
5 to 10 minutes more. Yes.
Okay. The participants are actually referring to it as an international workshop, as we have participants from the different countries. And according to Bile Fikadu, the workshop is very useful and it increased my idea towards the AI. I hope it will continue. Thank you to the organizers. And there's another message from Assistant Professor Upinder Kaur from India. Thank you for organizing such successful workshop, and all sessions are practical along with theoretical concepts. I really appreciate your efforts. And from other countries, I'll read some of them. I am Essie Peter Ga, I don't know the pronunciation of that, sorry about it, from Nigeria, presently on PhD
You
in
are correct.
UPM, Malaysia. And
You are
this
correct.
correct.
Yes.
Okay, so this 1 week workshop has been inspiring and given me some tidbits for my research area, multi-objective optimization. I am indeed very grateful to the entire crew. Thanks. Thank you, sir. And my name is Kurovi Fivai from Nigeria, Niger Delta University from Nigeria. This is my feedback for the workshop. Attending the 7-day Next AI and ML Learning workshop has been an extraordinary experience. The sessions were thoughtfully curated, providing a well-rounded introduction to the latest trends, techniques, and applications in artificial intelligence and machine learning. Each module built seamlessly on the previous one, offering clarity and depth, which made even complex concepts accessible. The facilitators were not only knowledgeable but also highly engaging, demonstrating both expertise and passion for the subject. Their use of real-world examples and hands-on exercises created an interactive learning environment that fostered practical understanding, Topics like neural network, model optimization, and AI ethics were particularly enlightening, giving me valuable insights into how these technologies shape our world and their potential for the future. Thank you, Fevai, for your feedback. And there's a lot of messages about thanking the organizers for the workshop, sir. Okay, so should we go ahead now? I think
Yes,
there
ma'am.
are others. Okay,
Yeah.
so okay. So thank you all for your valuable suggestions and insightful feedback. Your input is truly appreciated and will definitely guide us in organizing even better events in the future. Now, I would like to invite the workshop convener, Dr. Meher Chand, from the Department of Mathematical and Physical Sciences and the President of MTTF India to present the comprehensive report of this workshop. Sir, please proceed.
Thank you, ma'am, and thank you to all the participant, colleagues, and the speakers, organizers. It is very hard to speak because in the past few days, we all are engaged in various type of the hot areas. So it is the with great pride and sense of accomplishment that we come to the conclusion of this 1 week workshop on next generation AI and machine learning held from 12th to 18th November 2024, jointly organized by Method Thinking Foundation, Purnima College of Engineering, Jaipur, Baba Farid College, Bathinda, Next University, South Africa. This workshop has truly been a global effort towards advancing knowledge in artificial intelligence and machine learning. And in this workshop, there are about 400 participants registered from more than 14 countries. And we understand that due to the different time zone and sometime uh, internet challenges, so the event was completely organized on two platforms. One is Zoom meeting, and all the participant, most of the participant, usually we have at this place 70 approximately, and sometimes 80 are attending through the Zoom meeting. And apparently there was a live streaming on the Zoom, sorry, YouTube. So some of the participants are attending through the live streaming on YouTube, and as because some of the participants have some challenges to join the Zoom meeting, so they can easily access through the YouTube live streaming, and they are always uh, keep in touch through this streaming session, and they put their suggestions, queries at that platform also. Okay, and some of the participant who are not able to attend during the live session, whether it is on Zoom or YouTube live streaming, the other participant easily can cover this session through the recording. So recordings also available for all the participant, and they are covering all this session, and we are getting regular feedback from all the participant. So throughout the week, we have had the privilege of delving into an array of enriching topics delivered by some of the most distinguished expert in the field. Allow me briefly reflect on the remarkable session that have inspired and educated us. AI and ML current trends and future prospect by Dr. Itiram Raja Khan offered us a comprehensive overview of the state of art in AI and ML, guiding us toward the exciting potential these technologies hold for the future. Advanced Machine Learning Techniques and Application by Dr. Aparna Kumari shed light on advanced methodologies providing practical insight into their application in solving real world problems. Then we have the deep learning and neural network by Professor Pooja took us on the journey into the depth of artificial neural architecture, emphasizing their transformative impact across industries. AI Ethics, Bias and Fairness by Professor Anand Nair sensitized us the ethical responsibilities associated with AI development, ensuring that inclusivity and fairness are prioritized. AI in Emerging Technologies by Dr. Bisu Ranjan Senapati showcased the seamless integration of AI in cutting-edge domains, inspiring us to push the boundaries of innovation and optimization techniques by Dr. Amit Kumar Yadav equipped us with powerful tools to enhance problem-solving capabilities in AI system. And presentation of a project associated with the real-world problems by Dr. Upinder Kaur in today's session illustrated the practical implementation of AI and machine learning in tackling critical societal challenges. Each session was a treasure true of the knowledge and insight, leaving us better equipped to navigate the complex and dynamic landscape of AI and ML. I extend my heartfelt gratitude to all the speakers for their time, effort, and dedication in sharing their expertise. A special thanks to the organizing institution and their teams for ensuring this workshop seamless execution and success. To our participant, your active engagement, insightful questions, and project presentation have enriched the experience for everyone. Let us carry forward the lessons learned and the network established and the vision shared during this workshop. As we conclude that this workshop will not be the end, but a stepping stone toward greater collaboration, innovation, and ethical advancement in AI and ML. Together, let's pave the way of the future where technology serves humanity and create a better world for all. So, once again, thank you for being a part of this incredible journey. Wishing you all success in your endeavor. Thank you. Thank you, ma'am, and over to you, Dr. Pooja.
Thank you, sir. Now, I warmly invite Ms. Gumotso Morotolo.
I think she is not with us. I got the message from her.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, she is not with us now. I think we need to invite Dr. Uh, Sonia, ma'am.
Okay, sir. So, lastly, I would like to invite Professor Dr. Sonia Malik, Dean of Research and Development at PFGI India, to deliver the vote of thanks. Over to you, ma'am, Dr. Sonia Malik.
Thank you, Dr. Pooja, and thank you, Dr. Merchant. And good evening, everyone. So I am honored to deliver the vote of thanks on behalf of committee members. I want to express our sincere gratitude to all the speakers who shared their insights and expertise with us throughout this workshop. Your presentations were enlightening and thought-provoking, providing us with valuable knowledge and new perspectives. I would also like to thank our event organizer, Dr. Merchant, for his dedication and hard work in putting together such a successful event. To all our participants, thank you, all of you, for taking the time to be with us here this week. Your active participation and engagement have made this workshop truly memorable. Thank you very much for your wonderful feedback that we just have heard and your constructive comments. And I think we will take it forward for the better event next time. And last but not the least, I would like to thank my heartful gratitude also to everyone who is directly or indirectly involved in making this event a success. Once again, thank you all for being a part of this successful event. I look forward to fostering meaningful collaborations and productive partnerships in the days ahead. A nice evening to all of you and have a nice time ahead. And thank you, Dr. Pooja. Over to you now.
Before
Thank
leaving
you.
this session, I would like to request to all the participants, please open your webcam for having the screenshot. Kindly, I request all the participants to open your webcam. Okay. Thanks to all. Feedback form I will share shortly after this meeting. Actually, there is some technical issue, so I am not sharing in the chat, but I will share in the WhatsApp group. And if anyone have any challenge to get the certificate, that will be provided to all the participants within this week. So if you are not able to get your certificate of participation, you have our contact number, you can reach us. So thank you, and please don't forget to submit your feedback after this workshop, after this meeting. Okay. So thank you to all.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you. And now it is time to end the session. And please stay connected. Thank you to all. Good night from India. Now we can leave the meeting.